I'm ready now.
All right. It's hard not to find something to enjoy simply about a film that's called Guns Akimbo. Guns Akimbo. Has Akimbo ever even been in a film title before this?
Oh, I'm sure it has.
I'm sure. I don't know if it has.
It has to be.
It's such a great word.
I was really just excited to finally see the origin of that meme going around with Daniel Radcliffe in his bathrobe with a little, like, T-Rex slippers on going.
Right?
With a couple of guns.
This is a crazy fucking movie, and I love Daniel Radcliffe's continued being in crazy movies. Like, yeah, I was Harry Potter, whatever. Here's some seriously weird shit.
It's the after effect of Harry Potter that we never expected, which is he doesn't ever have to work again the rest of his life.
Never.
He could do what he wants, so he gets to be like a dead body that farts, or a crazy millennium dork who gets guns strapped to his hand.
Guns Akimbo is a, as you put it, crank without the misogyny.
Bastard. Yeah. So the plot is that Daniel Radcliffe is basically what Fox News thinks millennials are. He's a super passive-aggressive dweeb who designs games, which is he works for a shitty cell phone game company, spends all of his free time bitching and moaning on the internet and trolling people he doesn't like.
Yeah, he's liberal, but he's like spending way too much time hate trolling anyone he disagrees with.
Murder for entertainment is now a thing on the interwebs, and he goes in and starts bad-mouthing it and pisses off the wrong people with his bitching, and he just gets tranked all of a sudden and wakes up with guns literally bolted through his hands with a giant receptacle of ammo which has 50 rounds each, you know, because it displays it on the screen, and told, alright, cool, if you want to survive, this person's going to come kill you. Have fun.
Yeah, and the person in question is played by Samara Weaving, unrecognizable.
I did not realize until somebody quoted who it was that was her.
She's so punked out, and she's got like metal vampire like teeth, and she's amazing. Like, and she's right now the dominant killer on the game, and she is after him, and he doesn't want any part of this, but he really has no fucking choice.
Yes.
And so his mission is to A, survive, and B, maybe there's a way to convince her that the real bad guys are the people who are actually throwing this whole thing in the first place.
They shoot a lot of this on drones. The cameras are flipping and flying and doing twists. It has that feel of you've never seen camera moves like this before. And it also has that really out there zany, kind of dark, fucked up sense of humor to it that Crank did, just, again, without the rampant racism and misogyny.
I would argue that they were making fun of racism and misogyny in the Crank movies.
Not diminishing Crank. I enjoy Crank 1 and 2.
It's super fast cuts. It's lots of wackiness. It's lots of like anything they can throw at the camera in the style of those directors for sure.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say that for me this fell a little lesser than those movies was that I found a lot of the humor a little obvious. It falls back a lot on just pop culture referencing in a way that Deadpool did better, much better. It's a film that's seen the Deadpool movies and is trying to integrate that into it as well. And all that stuff doesn't quite work for me. Radcliffe is doing a fantastic job. Samara Weaving is unbelievable. And it's a great visual work, but the script, the jokes could have used some work for me.
That's fair. I've heard a few people make similar complaints about it. I can't argue that. Although I will say a lot of the jokes work for me. There's a great bit at the end about how a human being would naturally respond to such traumatic events as he and the other people in the movie get put through that I cracked up laughing at. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think overall it's still really worth watching. It's totally insane. This is a great movie to watch with your friends, drinking night film. I suspect this is going to end up getting, if not a wide release, then certainly a much ballyhooed streaming release.
And it is by the director of, and I just blanked on the title.
I don't know.
Whatever. The New Zealand zombie film. It's gory and fun.
Not Peter Jackson.
No.
부모님 얼굴도 뵙고 좋더라, 건강들 하시고.
일거리가 없으셔도.
네가 내 대신 얘 과외 선생님 좀 해줘라, 영어.
대학생인 척하라는 거야?
구라를 좀 치지 뭐.
I can safely say one of the most anticipated films of this festival was Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. And I think I can say that, at least for me, it did not disappoint.
No, not in the least. I think it might be my favorite for the festival after seeing it.
Yeah. Hands up, was it the festival, favorite of the festival?
I'm not sure, so I'm going to have
You're not sure?
Okay.
Wait,
I'm
but it's
halfway
right up there.
It's right up there.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
fair
definitely in
enough.
the conversation of the best I saw. I don't want to overhype it. I did really love it, but one of the things, a couple people I talked to right afterwards, they were hurt by like the introduction for it and everything. Like, you won't believe where this goes. They're like, it's the best ever. It's just like, temper that, because like it could only hurt any movie you're about to go see in. By the end of it though, I was not disappointed and it kind of met those expectations.
It's in some ways his most accessible film.
But I also think it might be my favorite of his, hands down. I know a lot of Americans will be, saying Snowpiercer, which is a fine movie, but I think this one it goes in so many places I didn't expect, and it's so deep, and the characters are so rich throughout it, actually.
He's genuinely made a film that in a lot of ways doesn't feel like a Bong Joon-ho film, but by the end, you're like, oh yeah, that was by that guy.
Yeah, it's one of the first that feels like a real blend. He either goes like the flavor of like Snowpiercer or Memories of Murder, and then like on the Snowpiercer side, it's like The Host, and then like Mother is on the. It's like there's like a split, and this one almost feels like the first like real blend of like the super heavy, almost like silly genre stuff.
Yeah.
And then like the more serious drama stuff.
Oddly, this film starts off, and I would say the first half to almost 2/3 of it feels like a comedy, like a confidence man comedy.
Yeah.
About a guy. It's like he's a young man. He's from a family of essentially grifters. They'll do whatever it takes to make the money they need to make, live in a little shithole. And he's got a friend who's more well off from school, who's like, look, I gotta leave for a while, but there's this girl from the super rich family, and she needs English lessons, and I was her teacher, and I need someone to step in while I'm gone for a year or so to do this, to take my place. But all these other people I could get are definitely going to try and put the moves on her because she's hot, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen. And to talk about your like veiled insults,
right?
It was like, I can trust you. I know you. I don't have to worry about that from you. He's like, look, I don't even have a fucking degree. He's like, they're never going to know. He's like, the mom is kind of stupid.
The dad's too damn busy.
The dad's too damn busy. They're never going to know the difference. So he manages to get integrated into this, steps in, immediately forms a bond that turns romantic rather quickly with the young girl, and then finds himself openings as it goes to start getting the rest of his family to assume different people to take over parts of the house. Thus the parasite, because it's like a parasitic infection of all of his family slowly moving into roles in the house, and like the driver, the maid, what have you. And at first it's genuinely funny for a while. And then there's a discovery.
That turn is just like, you're really like, what the fuck just happened to this movie? And there is one of the first, or one of the middle of that whole, when everything falls apart, is just so just brutal out of nowhere. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I would safely say this is one of the most fascinating films I've seen this year. It's certainly one of the best directed. There's cinematography and music stuff in here going on that will send chills up your spine. How beautiful and kind of perfect it is. And from like the point of view of someone with like art film point of view, but like just like things where a single shot that's not creepy in and of itself, but there's something about it that is creepy nonetheless.
Just kind of haunting.
Yeah. The pace of this movie, which was like much loved in a festival setting, where some movies feel like they're going on quite a little bit too long. This one has like the perfect slow burn to a build, and then like what feels like the back half of the movie feels like it takes 10 minutes to get by, and just races by, and it's like such a ramping up tension. It's just it's masterfully crafted. It's incredible.
It was so good they actually renamed the Alamo Drafthouse on South Lamar in Austin, Texas, to the Bong Joon-ho Theater with a ceremony with a brass plate and everything, which I was like, it was kind of cool to be part of that.
Bong Joon-ho Cinema. I invite you to come to the table here, raise a glass in celebration of our new home. Sir, I clink the glass. And why don't you come up here and have the first toast of many at the Bong Joon-ho Cinema. Cheers. Thank you. To all of you, and to you in particular, sir. Cheers. Grab a glass.
Yeah, right? right? Like, it was completely out of nowhere, too. We stepped out and like, so Tim League said he's going to do something. We don't know what's going on.
It was pretty exciting. It was exciting to be part of it. That's Fantastic Fest. You're listening to the Oneofus.net podcast network.